All right, I'm gonna attempt to remember this one. This was over a year ago now, about a year ago actually. So I'm gonna try and get this right. Hopefully it'll come back to me as I start talking. This was an experience that I had one night, and I was in meditation, and I just felt this, I don't know how else to describe it except this feeling of like the eye of another entity opened inside of me, like as if my body had been temporarily overtaken by this massive consciousness, a feminine consciousness, and her eye opened in me, and she was peering through my eyes, looking at the world through my eyes. And I was like, well, who the fuck are you? And she said, I am the mind of the void. I am the mother of primordial existence. I am darkness, chaos. I am the potential of everything there was before creation, before order, before mind. And I am the womb. And she said that she was showing me 0 and 1 and the circle and the line, and she was saying, I am 0, I am the circle, I am incomprehensible, and because I am incomprehensible, everyone has forgotten about me. That the God, that the divinity that everybody recognizes and everybody perceives is the masculine God. She was showing me that it's the line, it's the one, it's that is comprehensible, that the one you can see, and that it's mind, and that she was before mind, she was before the one, she was 0, and that everything was birthed from her, but everybody forgot about her because she's incomprehensible, because she is the 0, and you cannot comprehend 0. And although 0 is nothing, it is also everything. And she started telling me, she was recounting her experience as the primordial material, and saying that she was saying I was so alone, and I was alone for eternity. And she was saying I needed to know myself, I needed to break myself open, I needed to break myself open and birth. I'm just gonna give it to you how it came to me, that she had to break herself open in the same way the 0 has to break itself open and birth the 1 and birth mind, and that was the beginning of order, the beginning of physical reality. And but something about it, that's the masculine. The masculine is what you can see, and the original feminine, the primordial existence, in the same way that the womb, you cannot see the womb is internal and it's in the dark. The phallus, the masculine mind, that is what you can see. Everything that you can see is what is masculine. And she was saying that in this process of breaking herself open, it was this act of like excruciating pain to be able to observe herself and quantify herself, to take who she was and break it apart into pieces so that she could understand it. And that's kind of like the illusion of separation that we experience, is you isolate an idea, a concept, an energy, a form from the primordial chaos and express it into the physical realm, and as a single isolated entity unto itself, you're able to understand it and view it as a singular thing unto itself, and see it from all sides and understand it, rather than being part of this massive cosmic soup of primordial chaos. And she was saying that she broke herself open in a state of pain and wanting to know herself, but also in an act of love, because she loved herself so much that she wanted to to see herself, and she wanted to experience herself. And she was showing me the spiral, and she was saying, this is the ladder of existence, and the ladder of existence is the combination of the 0 and the 1. And she said, look at the spiral, look at the eternal spiral. It is the combined nature of a circle and a line compressed into a single architecture, and that is the spiral. And that is the existence of everything everywhere all at once, of all potential, but directed with mind. And that direction of mind, the one, the line, that is how things are comprehensible. And without the line, without this projection, and that's like the linear nature, that's time being perceived as linear so that you can comprehend it. And she was saying that that's the purpose of mind. It allows you to comprehend. That's the purpose of the one. It allows you to comprehend everything that is of the 0, everything that is of the primordial existence, primordial chaos. But she was expressing this sadness that everybody has forgotten about her because she's invisible, because she's incomprehensible. And it was this really, really profound experience for me. And then she kept saying, it was a profound experience for me because she stayed with me for a few days. Or maybe it was like the residue of her spirit. I don't really know how to describe it. It stayed with me for a few days, and she continued to talk to me about the 0, the nature of the 0 and the 1. What else was it? I'm like trying to look at my journal, but like my writing was I was like so frantic while I was writing, I could barely understand. She was talking about that in this process of breaking herself open, it was all of this intensity and all of this, I don't have another word for it, intensity, pressure, heat building up, and that heat caused this explosion. And that's why everything that is living, and okay, maybe I'm butchering this, I don't know anything about physics, I don't know anything about chemistry, I don't know anything about elements, but she was saying something about like this active breaking open, and the heat, the pressure, and the combustion. It was this act of combustion, and that's why everything that is alive has carbon, because carbon is the residue of heat. It's like the residue of combustion. And I felt like she was just asking to be recognized. She was asking to be, even though that she is incomprehensible, she was asking to be seen. And through like I said in the fall, I think I already said this, sorry, my mind. She was in the following day, she was communicating with me different things about the 0 and the 1, and how the 1 is, I'm repeating myself maybe, just the 1 is like the masculine God, who then, it was this idea of like the mother and son, and that's how she was explaining it to me. And that's this idea, this sanctity of the Madonna and child that is talked about. And I understand what that refers to in the story of Yeshua and everything, but she was like saying that it's this fundamental idea behind divinity, the mother, the Madonna and son, the mother and son, and about yeah, understanding divinity in a different way and also perceiving to some degree the primordial existence. And then later, this was much more recently, I had a conversation with what I perceived to be the masculine god, and I think I mentioned in a previous video that was much harder for me to interface with, because I grew up religious and I did not enjoy growing up religious. I did not and do not enjoy the confines of religion and the way religion seeks to place God within a boundary. But I say that, but I also find religion beautiful. I love to study religions. But I say all that just to preface that in this moment when I had the masculine God speak to me, it really, I was very surprised. I was very startled to encounter this being, and I think I'll share that conversation in another video.